Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another episode of the Gong Legacy Let's Play series. We are here with Kwasong at our door. It is the day after we got back from the date with Ini that ended really terribly because we met our idol Thorn Bailey and we got his autograph, and Ini was not happy about being left at the table, so it's the day after of that one, and Kwasong has called to ask her if she had some time because he would like to come over and like talk about something's been bothering him. Also, one thing to note, I'm actually doing a voiceover of my gameplay because I actually didn't know that my sound system wasn't working when I was filming this, so I filmed an entire episode without sound, without my voice, and it was a really good episode, so I'm gonna try to make sure that I can make this episode still good with my voiceover. It's going to feel a little different from how I usually play things since it's not like a live feed of how I react to things, but hopefully this would mean that I can condense things down a little bit further to make things more succinct, and therefore everything would make a lot more sense, because I think this episode is pretty heavy on the explanation and the storytelling anyway, so that's what's going to happen. And also one last thing, I will be adding a trigger warning for this episode because there will be mention of domestic abuse mainly and toxic relationships, so if you are sensitive to that, I highly recommend not continuing on this episode, and I will probably see you in my next episode. So yeah, let's get started, shall we? Okay, so now that Kwasong and Reina has sat down, Kwasong is going to start jumping into the actual topic of why he is dressed. Obviously I had to cheat that he's dressed because otherwise it's not gonna work. Also, I got control any sims back into my game, and that's been a really great help with the storytelling aspect. I feel like I can like finally do very good storytelling again, so oh my goodness, I am so glad that I got it back in my game. But anyways, like you guys would have imagined, the only thing that Kwasong usually has something to stress about is about his sister. So Kwasong basically is telling Reina about how he bumped into Xueting just yesterday, and I don't think Xueting was intending on Kwasong being home on the day, so she was actually dropping by the apartment to grab some more things, because like Xueting hasn't really like fully moved out yet. She just always like comes in to grab a few things to move it out of the apartment into her current residence. So Kwasong caught her once, and this time around he was very shocked at her appearing in front of him. Not because she appeared in front of him, but because first of all, Xueting's pregnant, Kwasong told Reina, and he's like, I don't know how far along she is, but she does have quite an obvious bump, and the worst part is her face was covered in bruises and cuts, and I worry because like it didn't look like what she said it was from. Obviously I had to ask why she was injured, and she's like, oh yeah, I just fell down the stairs or something like that. Like Kwasong's like, well, I was not born yesterday. She did not fall down the stairs to get injuries like that. So like I really think that this relationship with that dude is not healthy for Xueting. I mean, we knew that already, but now that I've seen her like this, I worry even more, because I feel like it's not just a bad man with potentially promiscuous ways, unserious. Like, I think there is more harmful things to this relationship, more than we initially thought, but at the same time I'm not that surprised as well. So he's just expressing how he doesn't know what to do. He feels trapped because every time he tries to talk any sort of sense into his sister, she doesn't listen, she shuts down, and she also like raises her voice, screams at him and stuff like that, so he doesn't know what to do. And Reina is of course empathetic, sympathetic, empathetic, but Kwasong understands, and Reina also like repeatedly tells him that she would help if she can, but we all know that Xueting doesn't even want to listen to her, and not for the lack of trying. She's tried so many times, but Reina's like, I don't think I can help in any ways, and I don't want to risk doing something that would push her even further into this. So like, if you really want me to talk to her again, I will try for you, but just know that I really don't think that I am the person that she will be listening to. I don't think she will respond positively to me at all. Kwasong's like, yeah, I know, that's why I'm like not really asking you to do anything. I literally just needed to like, you know, get it off my chest and tell someone, because I don't really want to worry my parents about these right now. I can only tell you because you're the one who really understands what's going on. And Reina would say, if you really want me to, I will really go talk to her, but I really don't think that it's gonna help. But if I do see an opportunity that Xueting might actually listen to me. I promise you I will try to talk sense into her, but otherwise I don't know how else I can help. I'm not even an obstetrician. I'm not trained that way. I'm like a pediatrician. Is that what it's called? So I tend to kids. I don't really know how to tend to pregnant women, but I could recommend a good obstetrician to her if she ever wants that kind of recommendations and stuff. I know that you guys are not really on speaking terms, but these are the things that I can really offer, like practically speaking. And also at the same time, I think she's saying that she's sorry that this is happening to him and his family and stuff. So yeah, that's like on Guo Song's part of venting. And then Guo Song moves on to ask like if Reina is doing okay as well. He hasn't seen her since the other day. And how's like the wedding, I guess like the engagement announcement and wedding planning going. Expecting to hear like really good stuff, but then Reina is actually saying like, oh, you know, actually we went on a date yesterday. It was like supposed to be nice. Went to this really good popular restaurant in Delso Valley, and yeah, we're gonna have a really good time there. But then we actually ran into Thorn Bailey, you know, the celebrity. And then this is like not something that most people know about me, but I am a huge Thorn Bailey fan. So I kind of lost my mind a little bit when I was there, and I just like I couldn't stay away. I wanted his autograph so bad. I wanted to be near him, so I was just being a fan, honestly. And I did manage to get my hands on an autograph and also a hug and everything, so I'm really happy about that. But the thing is, I kind of made a mistake because I left Inni at the table all by himself, and now he's like kind of mad at me. And yeah, actually the night ended really awkwardly, and he hasn't spoken to me since, and it's been kind of stressful. And I've been waiting for him to, you know, simmer down his rage or something and get back to me. I'm giving him some space. I'm trying to make sure that he yeah, just basically calms down before talking to me again. I did send him a couple of texts though, but it's all, he's just left me on red. But that's like, I don't know, I'm thinking about how like maybe I shouldn't have said yes to him asking me to marry him and stuff like that. I mean, there's obviously so many more things that we do have to figure out and work through before we can even like say that we're ready to spend the next decades of our lives together. Yeah, so there's like a little bit of that kind of complication going on right now, but so I guess there's nothing much new going on other than the fact that I'm going through a little bit of a disagreement with my fiance, but other than that, it's okay. There's nothing much to it. Just waiting for his text, that's all. So yeah, she has offered to go make them some lunch. Guo Song wasn't really that hungry, but I just pretended that he was, and we're like, you know what's gonna cheer us up? Some soup noodles. So I'm gonna make a soup noodle, like some Korean soup noodle called janchi guksu. I think that's what it's called. So yeah, Reina is once again in the kitchen feeding her guests and making people feel better via their tummy, which is awesome. I think Reina is actually trying her best to not project too much of her own emotions onto Guo Song, because she recognizes that actually it's like so much more stressful to have a wayward sister that is in a lot of trouble than her and her petty problems with her fiance. Like, it's just a celebrity, it's just one date that went a little bit awry, it's not that big of a deal. So she doesn't want to lay her own burdens on her best friend who is already going through a lot. So as they sat down to eat, the conversation kind of faded into more like everyday things, like not much conversation. They fell into like quite nice, comfortable silence as well, because a lot of the things that they're experiencing are weighing heavy on them. But yeah, at this point I actually kind of realized that I forgot to give Guo Song the ability to hold chopsticks, and I was kind of distraught because I was like, okay, he's like Chinese, he should be able to, just like Reina can. When Reina was going to get tea for the both of them, Guo Song was like, no, I gotta go. And I was like, oh my goodness, okay. But I think it's because like Guo Song needed to go home and get some work done, because I think he's supposed to have work today. As I controlled him, I realized that he had work and he was skipping, and he basically wanted to go back and get some work done, even though he kind of skipped work today. So yeah, it ended up being just Reina having her dandelion tea, which I said was good for digestion and like just like a healthy tea in general. So she just started drinking and thinking about the things that she has heard from Guo Song about Xueting being pregnant and everything, and she's like, oh my goodness, that girl. She's worried in a way that anyone would be worried about someone in that situation. She feels like she wants to do something more, but she doesn't really know what to do. Like, she feels like it's not really her place to like go in and drag her out of that house and force her to never see the guy again. They're all adults here. It's like so hard to do things like this. Even Guo Song realizes that he can't really like do that unless there are like obvious signs that it needs to be done. It's not obvious enough right now. Like, he's worried, but Xueting did say that she fell downstairs, you know, so yeah, it's kind of bad. So yeah, Reina went in for another cup and then she needed to go to the loo, but after that she decided, you know what, it's like kind of early still, so let me clean the house. I haven't been cleaning the house. It's been a rough few days, and it's very dirty, so she started vacuuming and stuff, just, you know, just enjoying some of her own private time thinking. But also she's just actually painfully waiting for Ini to reply, but she hasn't heard a single thing from Ini, and honestly that weighs very heavy on her, heavier than how much she has told and shown Guo Song. Like, it actually bothers her a lot that Ini hasn't really replied yet. And then at this point she realized that there was a knock at the door, and Lai Yuan, her ex-colleague now, he just got transferred somewhere. He appeared at the door and we're like, oh, what does he want? So I mean, she's not gonna turn a friend away. So it turns out Lai Yuan just wanted to give a friendly neighbor gift, but I was like, he doesn't even live here, so what? But okay, it doesn't matter. So we got the gift from him, which turns out to be some rare plants, which was pretty sweet of him. And I was saying that perhaps he remembered from their previous conversation that Reina likes gardening, so he remembered her when he found some rare plants and wanted to gift it to her, so he came over, and Reina was like really thankful for that. And he, you know, he said, now that I'm done with this, do you want to hang out for a bit? And Reina was like, you know what, I need some company anyways, and I was thinking of like not being at home. Would you like to accompany me to the caboose for a drink? I kind of just want to get out of the house for a little bit. And he of course said yes, so the two of them are going to go to the caboose. When the two arrived at the caboose, the first thing Reina did was go order them some gin fizz, because honestly the only thing that she really wanted to do was drink, because basically she's feeling a lot of heavy feelings that she doesn't want to think. She just doesn't want to think and overthink. She's been overthinking. She's been like thinking a lot about the relationship and about how Ini hasn't replied, and she really just wants to stop thinking. So she's like, okay, I need to get some drinks into the system. It's not really something that Reina does a lot, but she's at her wits' end what to do. And surprisingly to say, she feels a little bit too frazzled to even fathom using wellness and mindfulness to get her feelings under control in this situation. And Lion would definitely have noticed that Reina is not her usual self, and there's something that might be bothering Reina, but Reina is obviously, they're not close enough for Reina to even tell him anything. It's just like she's happy for some company. And then surprisingly, Guo Song appeared at the bar. Apparently Guo Song wanted a drink as well after he was done with his work a few hours later, so Reina was like, hey, why not come join us? And around the time when I added Guo Song to the group, Lion was like, okay, I gotta go. And I was like, oh my god, no, I want Lion to stay. So I tried to make him stay. It didn't work, so I decided to just let him go, and it became like a night for Guo Song. Again, the two best friends are together, but shortly after that Kai Feng showed up, and I was like, why not just make this like a club gathering now, since if Kai Feng's showing up, then the rest of them can show up too. And it became like a boys' night out in a sense. So Reina's just like drinking, and every time more friends joined, Reina ordered more drinks and more drinks. So Reina's just really focused on drinking the entire time. But the good thing about having a group gathering with these boys is she doesn't really have to think a lot, and it's always very boisterous and very fun with them, and they would just talk about all sorts of things and nothing at the same time. And she loves that friendship very much. She knows that they will be there for her if she ever needs it, but honestly, like, it's their company that she needs more. And honestly, with like the drinks going into her system, running through her system, it became very easy for her to just like stop thinking and start having more fun. So she would dance and stuff, and then ultimately they would decide to go for a beer pong session. And this time I've decided to pit Reina and Zheming against Zheng Jie and Guo Song for once, because Zheng Jie was like, hey, how come it's always you four? I kind of want to play this time. So Zheng Jie came in and partnered up with Guo Song, which I thought was a very unlikely pairing, and it was very fun to watch. Zhengxie is definitely not very good at sports, so it was really funny how it all turned out. While the boys were playing, they noticed that Reina would opt to sit alone on the other side of the bar, and also they noticed that she was more silent than usual, especially, I would say, especially Zheming, because Zheming has always been very perceptive about things like this. So he noticed that Reina was just not really like doing very well, but he didn't really ask, he just noticed. So there's that, but it's also really funny how even though Guo Song's really good at fitness stuff, because he was partnered up with Zheng Xie, it was really hard for them to win. And before I knew it, there was literally already like 1 cup left on their table, and it was almost like 3 on the other table or something like that. But it was just basically very funny how they won this so easily. I also did say that Reina felt a little bit like, oh man, I couldn't drink more because like we were winning so much. But well, that didn't matter. That didn't really like deter her from drinking more. She just basically, after this was done, she suggested that the losers pay for another round of drinks, and the punishment was that they would have to order the most expensive thing on the menu. So they went and basically ordered the most expensive thing on the menu, which was the flaming drink. And yeah, so Reina got more to drink. She was already still nursing her Dark and Stormy from her previous order, and then like she had a hand in both drink by the end of this order, and it was just, she was just really focused on drinking, and it did not escape her friend's notice. Guo Song obviously knows why, and Guo Song himself is also trying to drown himself a little bit. And at some point Reina became drunk, and also she really needed the loo because she's been drinking all night, so she went upstairs to go to the loo. But we also ended the gathering because by now it would be like about 3 plus, almost 4 a.m, so it's very late. So we disbanded, and Guo Song proceeded to pass out on the floor, drunk and tired, which was really just, it was just perfect because we all know that Guo Song's also going through something as well. These two people are just trying their best to survive at this point. Obviously Reina wasn't done with her drink, so she completely finished her drink while she was feeling dizzy and the world was spinning in the bathroom, and if she could throw up she would have, but there wasn't an option for them to throw up when they're drunk and wasted. And yes, wasted she was which was hilarious. I don't think we've ever seen Reina wasted before. Drunk perhaps, but never wasted. So when she exits the bathroom, she would notice that there is an ottoman right there in front of the toilet, so she was like, okay, let me just like lie down here for a second and close my eyes. I just need to wait for the world to stop spinning. And she passed out because of that, took a nap, an accidental nap, and we're going to pretend that she got woken up about an hour later by the staff because the bar was going to close, and she had to bring her very drunk behind home herself. And then when she got home, she was definitely way too tired to bring herself upstairs, so she just stumbled into the house and took a nap on the sofa, the closest surface that she could get to like something comfortable. And she was like, okay, just let me rest here for a little bit, the world is still spinning. So she napped until it was about 7:30ish, and then she was like, okay, I have a little bit more energy now, I really gotta take a shower, brush my teeth, and drag myself to bed. Oh my goodness, my head is spinning, my head hurts, I want to puke, I don't feel very good. And yeah, she just wants to rest at this point, and that's what she did. And at this point we got a notification that Dongzhi was upon us. It's gonna be tomorrow, and I was like, oh, I thought we had another week. Apparently not. So we have Dongzhi coming up tomorrow in game, but we will be doing this next week instead. I will explain more about Dongzhi when it rolls around. It's definitely more of a minor holiday, so I think it's gonna be quite fuss free, so that's good. Yeah, but I'll leave that content for next week. Then around like 11 a.m. I got Reina to wake up. I decided that Reina actually set an alarm for 11 because she didn't want to like sleep through the whole day, so she just made sure that she got some more sleep into her body before she went downstairs to get some of the leftover soup noodles that she made last night. She was very thankful that she made extras last night. And then we got a phone call from Renwu, her father, asking her if she wanted to go to the flea market with him. I think because usually we do hang out with our family on Sundays, and that is missing us a little bit, but we had to turn him down because we're not feeling very good. We're still tired and hungover, massive hungover, and yeah, just like we're not feeling good in all sorts of ways, like physically not feeling good, emotionally not feeling good. It's just we just don't really want to go out, so we just told Dad, yeah, I'm just like not feeling very well today, so I'm gonna give today a miss. I'll drop by when I can. The last time we saw him was like about almost a week ago. I think when we went to announce our engagement, that was like about Tuesday, I think Tuesday after work or something, so it's been almost a week. So yeah, Reina had made a mental note she would go see her family again soon, but not today. She feels absolutely horrible. All the drinking last night just put things off for a little bit, but she still feels the same dread, the same anxiety from how Ini has not called at all. She hasn't heard a single word from Ini. He's left her on red, and she's just like, oh no, I don't know. I mean, like, I did do something wrong, but I don't know what to do. I just really want to talk to him, so I'm just gonna give it a little bit more time before I reach out again, because I don't want to be annoying as well. Like, maybe he's just processing things. She's thinking about like texting him even more, but at this point she's just trying her best to not do that. They usually don't even text that much. They are just very busy adults living their separate lives. So she chose to do some vacuuming, which is something she really loves to do, to kind of try to put her mind off things without drinking more. And then she got a call from Rui Xiang, her brother, which was a call to kind of check in on her, to ask if everything's alright, because he heard from Dad that she's not feeling well, and be like, no, it's okay, I just like had too much to drink and now I'm having a massive hangover. Don't tell Dad though, I just had a really wild night, that's all. I'll see you when I see you, alright? It was definitely just a very short phone call to just check in on Reina, and Reina told her brother not to worry, and he's like, alright, okay, I won't tell Dad, yeah, but take care, right? Like, brother doesn't know anything about what's happening, at least not yet, so yeah, she just wanted to keep it that way. Then after the phone call, Reina realized that she's still really tired, and all she wanted to do was go to bed, so that's what she did. She brought herself up for another round of naps. She's too tired to do anything, so napping it shall be. And then when she woke up a couple of hours later, she still hears nothing from Ini, and she begins to wonder if like she could do anything, and she couldn't really like just leave it alone anymore. So she decided to risk it by calling Ini instead of waiting for him to come around to calling her again. The game knew that she was sad, which was really good, because the game gave us that cloudy, rainy moodlet, the gloomy moodlet. And Reina just did the call, and she said, hey, you haven't been replying me, but that's alright. Do you mind if we met up? I want to talk about this. Let's talk. Please don't ignore me anymore. And Ini basically still sounded really bothered and annoyed on the other side of the line, and he really just, the only thing he said was, I'll just like drive over. Like, he sounded very reluctant, still very angry, but he said okay, he's going to drive over. So Reina felt a little bit better afterwards, and at least she heard his voice, and at least he would pick up her call. And so she went to get ready while Ini made the drive over, change and psych herself up a little bit, and yeah, wait for Ini to arrive basically. And Reina decided to dress herself in Ini's favorite color, which is blue, and she put on some makeup and made sure that she looked really nice, because like she just really wanted to make sure that she made Ini as happy as possible, as much as possible. She's trying to fix things, you know. And Ini is already downstairs, and the first thing he does when he enters the house is to go pour himself a glass of wine, because I don't know, he just wants to drink, I guess. He actually arrived tipsy. I did cheat a lot of his mood so that he could be like, you know, like upset and bored and tense and stuff, which is what he's supposed to feel like, but he actually arrived tipsy, so I took that and ran with it. He's like, he already drank, he drove over, and he poured himself more wine, so he got that wine, went over to give Reina a greeting kiss, albeit a little bit more reluctant this time. Like, it was more like an obligatory thing a little bit, and then he just like said hey, and then went back to get his drink and chose to walk out to the inner patio to drink it over there. He didn't even invite Reina to join him or anything, but Reina was like, oh okay, so I guess he wants to talk there instead. She was ready to have this conversation, she was ready to try to fix things, but she didn't really know how to get started with broaching the subject, even though it was like hanging in the air between them anyways. She just started with like, hey, how's your day, how are you feeling, very casual things. She became a little nervous, and that's what she chose to open with. And Ini was quite reserved in his answer, and like quite sullen, and You could tell that he was still in a mood, and that made Reina a lot more nervous about talking to him. But with the glass of wine, I feel like Inni is feeling a lot more confident. I think Inni wanted to be juiced up essentially to make sure that he'll be able to get himself through this conversation as well, because like he is also feeling quite upset at Reina still, and he didn't want to do this sober essentially. Reina was trying to figure out how to broach the subject, but at the same time she is receiving very like cold uncaring vibes from In-E, and he was more interested in his drink, like swirling his wine and tasting it while she rambles on about random things. And once he was done with his first glass of wine, he went straight to pour himself another glass of wine, and Reina was just like puzzled by this behavior. She's never seen him drink that much, but then again she was thinking about how like she also had a full night of drinking, so she was like, she understands that she's upset him, and he's also trying to cope in some ways, and she just feels like, oh no, I don't know how to fix this, but she's gonna try. So she gives In-E a smooth apology and basically says like, hey, I know I said sorry a lot of times already, but I'm really very sorry for leaving you at the dinner table. I know that was really bad of me, that was really rude, and I hope you forgive me. It was just Don Bailey. I've always liked him since we were kids as well, so I just hope you understand, and I won't do it again. I know that I behaved really poorly during the date. It will not happen again. And Reina is also feeling quite tired still, like she hasn't really been able to get her energy up, so she's still really tired, sleepy, hungover and stuff, but she's trying to get through this conversation because she realized that the only way past this is through it. But Innie's just like having drinks after drink after drink, so he's done with his second drink and he goes straight to make his third. All the while he doesn't really respond much to Reina's apologies. He still gives her the cold shoulder, doesn't have much to say. He's just like, huh, yeah, okay, sure. Like he's obviously not forgiven Reina for it yet, and Reina's starting to feel a little bit more exasperated about the situation. Like she doesn't know how else to fix it other than to say sorry and promise that it will never happen again. So as she watches him pour himself yet another drink, her temper is starting to rise as well, because like she might be nice and patient and tolerant towards her boyfriend's like behaviors and stuff. She also can get quite argumentative. She was only not like argumentative this time around because she recognizes that it was something that she has actually done, instead of the previous few times where it really was like a non-issue with her having just like guy friends in general. So she decides that she can't stand this cold treatment anymore. She starts asking him what his problem is, yelling at him a little, like raising her voice, asking him like, what is your problem? Like, I already apologized so many times, like what do you need me to do so that you can forgive me, or like drop this and get over it? What more can I do other than promise you that it won't happen again? I can't go back and change how things turned out. So she snaps a little and let her temper rise, and all the while keep in mind Inni is getting drunker and drunker. So when Reina finally snaps about like what his problem is, he finally responded a little bit drunkenly with like, the events of the other night just basically reinforces the whole idea that I really just hate how you are always swooning over guys and like obsessing over men. I just really hate the idea that you like other men other than me as well, and like watching you swoon over Don Bailey, that just made me so angry on top of everything else. And this makes me think that if you can do that in front of your boyfriend to a celebrity, like what are you doing behind my back with like your friends again? So he expresses like suspicions again about her closeness to Zheming. I considered doing like both Zheming and Guo Song, but actually Inni doesn't find Guo Song very threatening, but every time she hangs out with her uni friends he gets very upset. So once again, the issues that Reina thought she had solved and he has tried to bury has surfaced because it has been unlocked by how much wine he has in his system now. And Reina is just like, oh my goodness, are we back onto the same topic again? I thought this was about the other night with Don Bailey and me leaving you at the table. And Inni would respond with like, yes, it is the same issue. Like, I feel like you don't prioritize me, and every time you see someone else that you like, you would always choose them over me. Even though I have time and again expressed my discomfort with you hanging out with your guy friends, you continue to do so and you just tell me that nothing's wrong. And Reina just actually cuts in and say, yeah, there's nothing between us, I'm just friends with them. Like, I'm allowed to have guy friends, and platonic friends of the opposite sex is a normal and acceptable thing. I have never done anything to dishonor you or cheat on you or anything like that, so why can't you trust me? And he's like, it's not about trust or not, I just hate that you hang out with them. I dislike the idea of you hanging around so many men. I dislike the idea of you always like swooning over men, and the very idea that you just left me at the dinner table to go lose your mind over another man just drives me absolutely insane. And Reina's like, I just can't believe that you're saying things like this right now. Like, what is wrong with you? At this point, Reina is just beyond exasperated with what is happening. Like, she thought when she invited Ini over that she would be able to fix things and make things better, but it seems like it just got way worse than she imagined. And things are really getting out of hand now because he's like drunk and he's raising his voice at her, and he is being very angry and very ridiculous with the things that he says. Reina is just so frustrated at the situation, and she's like, oh my goodness, I just can't believe that this is back on the table again. Like, why is this such an issue for you? I have already told you that there's nothing wrong and I've done nothing wrong. Why can't you just believe me? I'm your girlfriend. And with Don Bailey, that was literally just me being a fan, and I thought you knew that because we've always talked about it, and I've always shared with you about my obsession with that celebrity. And now that I've met him, why can't you be more supportive of the fact that I really just wanted the opportunity to get a autograph from him? Can't you be just happy for me? And Ini just didn't know how to respond to that, so he just stood up and he left and is like, I need to go to the bathroom. And Reina was just left on the patio on her own, and she just swore really loudly into thin air because of how frustrated she's feeling. After Ini was done with the bathroom, he was feeling really annoyed, and he just kind of like walked past Reina in the patio and went outside. Reina was like, where are you going? And Reina was like going to follow him to check up on him, to see what's happening, because she knows that he's kind of drunk as well, so she wants to make sure that he's alright. I think he realized through the alcoholic fog that he has made himself a big enough idiot at that point in the night, so he's like, I'm just gonna go home. And Reina is just speechless right now. She just like kind of watched him walk out, and she didn't really know what to say. She's just speechless and tired. So once Ini has let himself out of the house, she just like headed upstairs. She's so tired and she's so sad, and she's in all sorts of emotions. She's even worse off now than before, and she's just going to take herself straight to bed. She's so angry. She's so frustrated and angry at this point. She doesn't know what else that could have done. She just can't believe that after all that has been said and done, he still feels like her having guy friends is an issue, and it's just a horrible feeling to experience. So yeah, she just doesn't want to think anymore, and she just brought herself to bed. And with this, we are going to end the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed what has gone down so far in this episode. I told you things are going to start picking up speed very much, so I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think down below, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.